This is Goodsprings, Nevada. Once a prosperous mining town, its population has been in decline for the better part of a century. Even its own residents tend to disagree on just how many people are left in this town. But in general, the consensus is that 363 days out of the year, as few as 100 people continue to call this place home. But on the remaining 2 days of the year, Goodsprings experiences a population explosion the likes of which the locals could have never imagined just 3 short years ago. This is the annual Fallout fan celebration, otherwise known as New Vegas Days. Every year for the past 3 years, the owner of the 111-year-old Pioneer Saloon, real-life inspiration for the Prospector Saloon found in Fallout New Vegas, has hosted a festival in Goodsprings to celebrate all things Fallout. They were completely blindsided by the fact that more than 1,000 people showed up to the first event in 2022, and the number has doubled or tripled every year since then, culminating in 2024 with over 8,000 attendees across both days. The immense size of the crowds poses a series of unprecedented challenges not just for the Pioneer Saloon, but for the entire Goodsprings community. I first heard about this event last summer when the amazing Fallout YouTuber TK's Mantis released a video detailing his experiences at the 2023 event, and thought, if there was ever a convention my introverted, reserved, and oddly peculiar brain could be interested in attending, it would be this. But I'm certainly not about to spend 2 days outside in the freaking Mojave Desert in July. Imagine my excitement when I discovered that 2024's event was moved to the lovely, heavenly 60-degree Fahrenheit, because this is Morica, temperature of November. There was no way that I couldn't not go, so I grabbed my buddy Gooblicon, figuratively, not literally. Sorry ladies, this emaciated ginger Wolverine cosplay gone wrong is already spoken for, and we hit New Vegas Days with a distinct lack of style. Gooblicon toting his ancient Polaroid camera, me toting my rarely used GoPro and lavalier mic I bought without realizing that lav mics and GoPros really aren't the best tools for voiceover content, and we hit the trail. Now this is not going to be a glistening, shiny Instagram special where you only see the glowy parts and then get duped into visiting a hole. This is a new event that is growing at a rate that nobody has anticipated, and the rather limited real estate available just makes it exceedingly difficult to provide the amenities to support that many people for very long. Now the Pioneer Saloon is getting better and learning new lessons each year, so hopefully things will get better without getting too corporate. One of the things I appreciate most about New Vegas Days is this really did have all the hallmarks of your traditional small town community event. Pioneer Days, Lumberjack Days, Rodeo Days, insert your day here day. This felt very much like that, with there being no real program to follow and no tickets required for entry, although you did need an armband so they knew whether you were old enough to enter the saloon or not without having to card you. Of the 8,000 attendees, over 1,000 got the under 21 wristbands. No Nuka Darks for you whippersnappers. But with the event itself being pretty much just the saloon, which typically didn't have any lines but little to do besides ordering drinks, the porta-johns, which were almost always occupied,
I need to go poop.
and the Goodsprings Merchantile, which is pretty much just a tiny gift shop and always had massive lines. There wasn't a lot more to the Fallout fan celebration than this. The event did include a small group of vendors set up on the outskirts of town, which fits the Fallout motif quite well in my opinion, and a couple food trucks set up behind the saloon, but that was really all there was to it. The event itself is not really much of an event, but the entire reason I'm here talking to you now isn't because of the Deathclaw breakfast sandwich served behind the Pioneer Saloon or the Fallout Special Edition Arizona iced tea that was suspiciously missing that 99-cent price tag printed right on the can that allowed for a much higher price. And it's not the 15 minutes I spent in the saloon actually enjoying the real-world inspiration for one of my favorite games. It's all because of the people, the thousands and thousands of amazing, wacky, friendly, eccentric, accommodating people that all chucked that aggressive posturing you see on the internet aside. To see people dressed up as legionaries sharing a Nuka-Cola with NCR troopers, followers of the apocalypse and great cons. To see Leggett Lanius towering, seriously, I'm 6'3" and was wearing boots and that guy still looked down on me, greeting an audience of Vaulties, Boomers, Raiders, Rangers, and Powder Gangers. To see all these different flavors of Fallout fans hang out and share their stories, their creativity, and their love of Fallout with one another as people who all share a common interest. This is the New Vegas Days that I will remember, not the hour and a half I spent waiting in line for a microbrew sarsaparilla in the gift shop, but the time I spent talking to people, some absolutely oozing a maxed out charisma stat, some struggling with anxieties and and pushing through conversations that they, by all appearances, were uncomfortable having, despite being reassured that they didn't have to participate if they didn't want to, all because they wanted to share their enthusiasm with others. These people each came to Goodsprings for their own reasons. What brought you here to Goodsprings, Nevada? What brings you to Goodsprings? What brought you to Goodsprings today?
Goodsprings, well, it actually almost didn't happen. I'm starting a job which could start Monday or could start next week, but they wanted me to start Monday, and so it kind of moved out to Vegas on a whim and was right in time for Fallout Festival, which I've wanted to do for a while, but time permitting, it didn't kind of line up, and then all of a sudden it did, so here I am.
Well, I've been really wanting to come to this event for years because I've loved Fallout since I was really little, so yeah, I finally managed to come because someone invited me.
So Fallout Day, Pioneer Saloon. So I was here last year for the event. That was largely in part thanks to TKS Mantis, who was kind of really interviewing and doing stuff for the first event that they had. So I came out here for the second one. And honestly, it was just a fantastic time. Everyone was super cool, just really chill, you know. Everyone's really friendly, really great. Everyone just has a great time, so I decided to come back out here again.
Well, I came last year to the meetup, to the Fallout New Vegas meetup, and I wanted to come again this year. I was here yesterday, and now I'm here today. I love the game. I've been playing since I was 13, so it's very sentimental to me.
Well, of course, it's, the Fallout Fan Festival.
Well, the secret thing was I proposed here up on the hill. But that was the real reason. The other reason was because I've been drawn to this place for years now. This was finally a reason to actually come to Goodsprings to see what it felt like in the game in real life.
Fallout Fest, of course.
I love Fallout. New Vegas is the best one, and I saw that there was a event happening. That would be nice to meet like-minded individuals.
I've actually been coming here since the game came out, so I'm just excited there's other people here for once and it's not just me.
I was already a big fan of Fallout New Vegas as it was, and when I heard that Goodsprings hosts events like this, I just had to come here, get dressed up as you see here, Joshua Graham.
I'm a very big fan of the games, and I've never met another Fallout fan, so I just kind of wanted to come here and meet some like-minded people.
But it's important to remember that Goodsprings isn't just a saloon with a gift shop. It's an unincorporated community, technically no longer even considered a town or village. They don't have a town hall, a city council or mayor, a public works office. Hell, they don't even have a post office anymore. That teensy-weensy little structure is now the Goodsprings Museum, which, despite being roughly the size of the room I'm recording this script from, was bursting with local lore and history. And the sweet old lady greeting guests was a hoot. She threatened to trip me if I didn't sign the logbook on the way out. I don't know why that endeared her to me, but it did. The local volunteer firefighters were out fundraising and offered serialized challenge coins for anyone who donated $20 or more. Naturally, by the time I got there, 13, 15, 31 through 34, and 69 were all snatched up, so I had to settle for 61. Maybe next year they'll mint more than 100. Oh, who am I kidding? 101 and 111 would be snatched up instantly as well. Anyway, before I move on, because I'm ADHD and all over the place, this is the coolest seal I've ever seen for a fire department, and it even glows in the dark. But a major question that Gooblicon and I had was regarding who the primary stakeholders in Goodsprings are, and where all these Fallout denarii that are being brought in through New Vegas Days are going. So I convinced Old Man Liver to conduct a short interview and discuss the impact that New Vegas Days has had on the local community. So I'm standing here with Old Man Liver, the owner and proprietor of the Pioneer Saloon and Goodsprings Mercantile. So tell me, what caused you to start doing New Vegas Days?
Yeah, so I acquired the saloon at the end of 2021, and right away I noticed that there were Fallout fans coming in wanting to check it out, and I felt kind of bad because we didn't have that much for people to see, and I grew up as a big gamer, and I'm a big Star Wars geek, and I'm like, if I went to where they filmed the Mos Eisley scene at the cantina and they didn't acknowledge it, I'd be kind of disappointed, and it came from not wanting to disappoint people. And then finally we're like, hey, what if we try to get everybody together on one day? So we picked National Video Game Day, and which happened to be in July, which of course was a mistake. And we thought 50, 100 people might show up, and we had 1,000. And I was like, well, shoot, now we can't stop now, so we'll make it 2 days the next year. And in case we have more people show up, and then 2,000 showed up, and it keeps doubling now. So we're trying not to chase it, but we're all, but there's always something new and exciting, and unexpected and fun, which is part of the vibe. It's the spontaneity. So,
all right, awesome. So we kind of took off in the afternoon and went to Spring Valley Ranch State Park, and the park ranger there was saying that yesterday the Old Mormon Fort State Park was also doing a Fallout Day. So do you think you would be interested at all if you were to try and coordinate with them to kind of split a whole weekend?
We did.
You did?
Yeah, so that we actually bussed attendees from here to the Old Mormon Fort and the Atomic Museum so they could experience that as part of this whole Fallout fan celebration.
Oh, awesome.
So
Did you do that this year?
Yes,
or?
this year. So that was all part of our event.
Okay, awesome.
So we're spreading it out. We're getting not just Pioneer Saloon, but we're spreading to other places in the video game, and next year we'll probably even expand even more.
Okay, so now for a hard-hitting journalism question. So I struck up a conversation with one of the teachers over at the Goodsprings School, and they're such a small school, this is such a small community, and you're bringing so many people in. Do you plan on using any of the money raised from this to kind of help the community as far as helping fund the school, helping infrastructure? Because this is a small town, a lot of the parking lots that there are still dirt and gravel.
Sure.
So is there any of that going on as part of the proceeds for this?
Great question. So we tie in this event to Fallout for Hope, which is a charity that helps out with St. Jude's Children's Research Foundation hospitals. And then we also have a charity division of the Pioneer Saloon called the Asshole Association, and all those funds is what we use to help the elementary school, the local volunteer fire department, the museum, the historical society here in Goodsprings, and just help the community, because the community gets no help from the county. It's an unincorporated town, so it's up to us to help. So we took everyone over to the elementary school. They can't take donations real time, but the volunteer fire department was able to take donations, so we helped them out on our walk yesterday through town. So we do our best to try to support the community.
All right, that's great. So I guess the question I want to ask, I kind of listened in and eavesdropped on one of your conversations yesterday, and I know you can't give me an answer thanks to a pesky little NDA, but do you think that Goodsprings will make an appearance in Season 2 of the Fallout series?
I hope so. I honestly don't know either way. I've gotten the vibe they're looking at this as a long-term thing, not necessarily just one more season, maybe a few more. So, of course, you don't want to do all your Easter eggs right at the beginning of a whole series. So the vibe I get, they're talking about it, and it may not be right away, but eventually, hopefully we'll be a part of it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for putting on this on behalf of the fandom. That's right. I speak for all of you. And I hope that you continue to do this. This is awesome.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, everyone, for coming.
While many of us tend to think of the Goodsprings School as just an abandoned building filled with mantises, big damn bugs, in reality, it has remained in continuous operation since it was constructed in 1913, all the way until the present day. The school's 2 teachers were both present on a Saturday of all rotten times to offer tours, a bit of history about the school, and this lovely lady Anne-Marie talked shop with me for some time about what it's like teaching small groups of students working in small rural communities, and she even let me ring the school's bell that was ripped from an old steam engine. The entire school only has 4 students, and Goodsprings Elementary, despite being on the National Registry of Historic Places, is pretty much under constant threat of being shut down for good. It struggles to make do as funding is often pulled off the table when education boards see how few students are actually utilizing a given school or program. That's why I decided to reach out to the school directly to see if there's anything that we as Fallout fans can do where government bean counters won't. It turns out that we can make cash and equipment donations directly to the Goodsprings School. There's some paperwork that has to go along with that, and I'm willing to wade through that red tape, which is why 100% of the proceeds from this video between now and July 2025 will be donated directly to Goodsprings Elementary. I'm choosing that date because it will coincide with the start of the next fiscal year, and the school won't feel rushed to spend it before the state board sweeps all of it back into next year's pot of money for use by schools that don't need it. as badly anyway. So if you would like to do your part to help this little school keep doing what they do best, drop a super thanks on this video, or at the very least like and share this video with your friends that also like Fallout stuff. Okay, let's get back to the Fallout stuff you actually came for. What I found so interesting is that people's cosplay often did not reflect their favorite characters in the Fallout franchise. Who is your favorite? What is your favorite Fallout character? What is your favorite character? Who is your favorite character in all of Fallout?
Oh, that is easy. It is Paladin Dance.
Veronica.
John Hancock. I'm cheating on Fallout New Vegas there, but he was just so good. He's my favorite.
I'll give it to Harold.
I think Frank Horrigan is pretty badass.
Mr. House.
I mean, I get it. I went as a half-assed Ranger cosplay. I thought about shaving my goatee into a handlebar mustache and going as a fat Ranger Jackson, but I figured nobody would get the reference and I would just be bearing my double chin for no payoff. But as I'm sure you know, Jackson is not my favorite character. Hell, he's not even in my top 20. Who is my favorite? You'll just have to guess. That's right, I'm a hypocrite. I'm not telling you jack. Okay, I'm really just saving it for a future video, at least that's my excuse. My backlog is atrocious right now. Anyway, as I was so excited to see, there is a pretty wide range of interest when it came to what people's favorite Fallout titles were.
Probably a tie between the first one and if I have someone to play with, 76 isn't bad.
New Vegas by a landslide, followed closely by Fallout 2.
Favorite Fallout game is New Vegas.
New Vegas. Second would be either 3 or 4.
I have not played New Vegas. I've only played Fallout 4.
A really unpopular opinion, but it's 76.
It is a mix between New Vegas and Fallout 4.
Fallout Shelter.
I don't believe you.
No, I'm kidding. I'm playing.
It's definitely a toss between New Vegas or 2.
Honestly, New Vegas. But my first was 3. That's what got me into it.
Yeah, I'm partial to 4.
You're partial to 4?
Although I will say, about a year into it, I'm enjoying 76.
This wasn't just a place for New Vegas purists. If you love Fallout, anything about Fallout, you are welcome to attend and let loose. One aspect I was a little unsure of was getting to meet some of the other Fallout YouTubers. Chipmunk, who I honestly hadn't heard of before he appeared in the pamphlet for the event, is great, and we shared a really cool conversation about making content. I accidentally recorded him when I forgot to turn my mic off after an earlier interview, but since he never said it was okay to use his voice, I won't include it here. He has a series called Road Chippin', where he visits locations from Fallout games, which I had intended to do myself, but the farthest I ever made it in that series was my Arlington Fact vs. Fallout video. He doesn't get nearly enough views for the work he puts in, so show him some love when you're done here. Also, TK's Mantis was once again a staple of the event, so it was great to meet him in person. After having shared a few emails in the past, it was fun to get that personal connection and getting to thank him for letting me know that this event was even a thing through his video he released last year. I didn't get to talk shop with him very long, as I just sort of bumped into him in front of the saloon, and I didn't want to take up too much of his time. He could usually be found near a stage where people were playing live music, but the volume would have made conversation pretty much impossible. We stopped by the first aid station, which was run entirely by active duty military personnel who volunteered their time and experience to keep people safe. All right, so you are the manager here at the first aid station, so you're in charge of all of the medical personnel. So tell me how everything has gone down. Has it been relatively smooth, or have you had a few incidents here at New Vegas Days?
For the most part, it's been pretty smooth. We have had a couple of things happen. Last night, there was a couple incidents my night shift crew took care of, where people, your standard drunk related that, couldn't tell if they were drunk or dead, so they were checking on that. We had an individual come around and try to place a curse on us as well. The curse of Odin or Thor. I'm honestly not sure what this individual was talking about. However, we were cursed, so I feel very well protected now. But we've had one individual who did get a head laceration. We have taken care of that individual. They are good to go now. One broken wrist. The NCR went a little too hard, but it's the NCR. What do you expect?
It's the NCR. All right. So, out of curiosity, have you ever played any Fallout games?
I have.
You have? What's your favorite Fallout game?
New Vegas.
New
for
Vegas.
Sure.
Right.
I've played that probably. I don't have that many fingers to count through, so.
Don't have that many fingers? Well, dang. All right. Who's your favorite Fallout character?
Ooh, that is a very good question. I'm torn between Mr. House and Tabitha.
Ooh, Tabitha. That's a
Yeah.
good one. I have not heard that yet. So far, we're mostly House, but Tabitha's a new one. So you're adding some spice to my channel.
Oh, good.
right.
I'm a spicy guy, I guess.
A major highlight of the day was an interview with my man Ryan, who we had never met before this event, but we had a lot in common. His energy and enthusiasm were infectious, and on both days he ran a game of poker and was way more charismatic than Benny has any right to be. If, Adam forbid, they ever decide to remake Fallout New Vegas, Ryan should be the guy they cast as Benny. So tell me, what brings you to Goodsprings today?
My name's Ryan Hebert. This is actually the first time that I've been to this event. I've heard about it for the past 2 years, and I've never, work just got in the way, stupidly, because, I'm the chairman. Sometimes things get in the way. But this time I was like, you know what? I can call out a one shift to work and be here, and I would not replace it for the world. I've gotten to host Family Feud, host a game between the Legate, General Oliver, Yes Man, and Mr. House. Are you telling me that's not the best poker game you've ever seen in your life? There's just nothing that can top it, if you really think about it. So I'm here just because, one, it's something to cross off my bucket list, but two, I don't see myself not coming for the next 5 years. It's just that good.
It is very good. This is also my first time here as
Is it
well.
really?
And so I wasn't quite sure what to expect. This is my first convention period. And
Same here, yeah.
This is my first cosplay ever.
Dude, I was like, look, this is probably the biggest that I'll do. There's no way that I'm wearing a bigger costume. No shots to anybody else. It's just dude, I can't pull off what the Legate's got. If you do an interview with the Legate, look at what he has, and oh my god, it is insane. I could never wear that. I'm not that tall, and I'm not that sexy. I'm just not. I can't tell you that. So,
all right. So, what is your favorite Fallout game?
Fallout Shelter. No, I'm kidding. I'm playing. It's obviously New Vegas. Fun fact about it, actually, I didn't know New Vegas until 2020. I didn't play it when it came out, which I've actually heard is a good thing because the release was really rough to deal with. But it was one of my friend's favorite games, and he was a MIT guy in Massachusetts, so obviously his opinion's the best. And so I was just sitting there playing GTA 5 on heist mode, just repeating the same heist over and over and over again. He's like, dude, do you want to play a game with some good story? And I'm like, dude, the last game that I played with good story was Super Mario Galaxy, and that's great story, and you can't really top that. And he's like, no, man, I think you'll really like this game. And I had never touched the Fallout before. I had done research on my own about nuclear fission and nuclear fusion, and I was hooked from step one. From the second that you that flash at the beginning starts in. New Vegas has been my bread and butter, so much so that it's been hard to play Fallout 4. Just because I'm not a guy who cares for graphics. I'm not a guy who cares for any of the big things that big games are going with now. Don't get me wrong, Red Dead Redemption has a great story. The graphics are insane, but there is an argument to go, do graphics affect a game or do they not? Because I swear to you, to this day, I stand by the point that New Vegas has one of the best base story games of all time, and DLC, but we're not going to get into that right now. So yeah, I gotta say New Vegas is the best game. It's the game that got me into Fallout. It's the reason why I have Fallout Shelter on my phone. I swear I've only just re-downloaded it, so it's fine. It's not. I'm not that degenerate who's picking up every time. But I will say, there's nothing that can separate me from this game, and I hope that I play with my kids at some point, on the PC. I'm like, that's Fisto, and then I'm gonna stop right there because that's all my kid needs to know about that. So yeah, sorry, I went way down a rabbit hole on that one.
Just don't explain what it means when he says assume the position. It's okay.
Yeah, you assume the position of head of the chairman of the tops, right? That's what you're talking. Obviously, that's what we're talking about. There's nothing else we're talking about.
You play Portal first, and then he'll assume that you're just talking about assuming the party position.
The party position. That's right, of course, because we always have to eat the cake at the end of that game because it's so delicious. It's so
is.
Great. God. Anyway, okay.
All right.
Keep going.
And last question: who is your favorite Fallout character?
No, I can't go with that. Don't get me wrong, I really do. For making an antagonist, Benny's just iconic. Look, how could I say otherwise? He's one of the best characters, especially when he shoots you in the head. But I don't know. God, that's so difficult. I said this earlier today at Family Feud, and I am 100% biased for it, but my first companion in the game is Veronica. And I met her, like right at the junction. And I didn't even know what again, she's in like the freaking hood, and like I didn't even know what she's about. And I get into conversation, and it's like she's alluding to the Brotherhood. And again, my first like game that I played was New Vegas, so I had never heard of the Brotherhood at this point, right? And I've heard that there are these like night guys that are like kind of cool, and also like collecting all the stuff and like kind of like Christianity. I'm like, dude, this is like freaking the Crusades all over again. This is awesome. And then I learned more, and then I was like, oh shit, they're messed up. Like, there's a lot of things in this chapter that are not going well. They're not advancing, right? They could have taken Helios one, but Elijah just went, bye, Felicia, and went off to do whatever he's doing. And it's like, how can Veronica, who sees this, right, and who is progressing and who is like actually making progress, still be a part of this? And at the end of that, I actually chose that she go off and do her own thing, which is, again, it's not an easy decision. I mean, at the end of the day, she's like leaving her family, and that's something that you can't really get away from. But at the end of the day, I feel like it made her more happy. I made her more happy because I got her Vera's dress. She looks amazing in Vera's dress. Okay, I'm sorry, she just does. All right, if I get destroyed on Reddit, she looks good, bro. She looks good. All right.
I'm not gonna lie, I've done the same thing, and it's good.
That's right. That's what I'm saying, man. Dude, she looks so. Okay. Anyway, I'll shut up. But my point is, there's a lot of really great characters. I love Boone. I love the dynamic that you get with Raul, especially when you tell him to go full freaking vigilante. That's amazing. But I mean, my first was Veronica, and I like just the comedy, the dialogue, and the overall story. Veronica's my choice.
For New Vegas, she's mine as well.
Really?
Yes.
That's so sick. I didn't know that. That's so cool.
She's my Fallout New Vegas waifu.
Okay.
Even though she doesn't swing that way, but I play a little loose with my headcanon.
Look, man, I'm just saying, if they added a DLC where Christine and Veronica would meet, I would buy that shit instantly, bro. It would be on my first freaking thing on my wish list. It would be on everything. Oh,
that was the most white thing ever. We took 3 takes for a high five.
Yeah, dude, we're gonna edit that part out. Edit it, cut it right now. Well, one more thing before I know this isn't part of the interview, but I just want to say, if there's anybody watching who's curious about going to one of these things, like it's intimidating, right? Maybe you haven't been to one of these things before. It's like, it's not there. Dude, I was that way for 5 hours driving from all the way to here. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I proceeded to have, and I'm not saying this lightly, probably one of the best 24 hours of my life. It's just been insane. It's been absolutely incredible. Please, please, please. Goodsprings is a town of 300. We had 5,000 RSVPs to this event. That is like not quintupled. That is quadrupled. Like, that is so many people.
It is just all of the tupled.
Yes, it's every single tupled, and it's just a point of going, like, you can be a part of this group, and we want you to be a part of this group. So I'll shut up from there. I know I'm like probably got like a big part of the interview, but thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you so much for agreeing to this interview. Another very fun group was the NCR Army, one of oddly 2 factions of NCR cosplayers at the event. The NCR Army ran an airsoft range and thankfully treated it with the same respect as you would a live weapons range, because too often you see people say, oh, it's just airsoft, it's not dangerous, while instilling very unsafe behaviors that real firearms instructors have to retrain out of people if they ever decide to pick up a real gun. So I thought that was super cool. A couple members of the NCR Army agreed to an interview which Gooblicon did not record, so most of it's missing, but I'll post what I've got here because Captain Wallace and Private Sulk were just great people to talk to.
Well, we've been here since before day 1 of year 1. We were the first costuming group to get involved, and we wouldn't miss it for the world. We set up the NCR HQ tent. We're the NCR Army. We created the world's most screen-accurate cosplay for the NCR Trooper from Fallout New Vegas, the best Fallout. And this is the first real fan gathering outside of a convention where there's tons of other stuff going on. But this is the first Fallout-centric event, really, to take off in America, and to have it at a central location from the game itself has just been a natural magnet for fans from all over the world. We got folks from Ireland, from China flying out here. We came in from Atlanta. We got some Vegas locals. We got Florida boys. Everyone from everywhere. And the fact that the community just keeps growing is an attraction in and of itself, and it's a really great community.
And I just want to say, your costumes are perfect. They are mint.
Much obliged. Thank you,
As,
sir.
as my brother would say.
We do historical reenacting, a lot of us, and I do costuming for film and television and Renaissance festivals and reenactment as well. And so we kind of took that same approach when designing and creating the soft kits. We worked with a really talented maker overseas to make the armor come true. It's actually designed as a plate carrier. So it opens up and you can put ballistic plates in there if you want, which led to me getting hit with tariffs when we imported the first batch of prototypes back in 22. And the war had just broken out in Ukraine, and my friend was living in Russia at the time. He doesn't anymore. And U.S. didn't really like importing what they considered body armor from a sanctioned country. So there's a lot of stuff involved in creating and designing cosplay that most people just never think about. That if you're untalented like myself with my shaky hands, I'm not great with EVA foam. I do all natural materials, typically trying to capture as realistic a feel and a real life vibe as possible. Shame we didn't see too much of that with the NCR in the show, but we brought the game to life.
You certainly did. So, he already said what his favorite Fallout game is. What's your favorite Fallout game?
Born and raised in Vegas. It's got to be
Born and raised in
Vegas.
Vegas. All right.
I do like the green patina of 3, though.
I'll always have a soft spot for 3 just because that was my first Fallout game. And so, Vegas, undeniably better. But 3 will always have a special place in my heart. So, last question before I let you guys get back to your thing and keeping the Mojave safe. Who is your favorite Fallout character?
Gotta be Mr. House, actually.
Gotta be Mr. House.
It's just perfectly preserved autism.
I feel a little attacked.
I don't feel attacked. I feel encapsulated
we're all
in a
a little bit on the
cryostasis
spectrum
chamber.
All right, how about yours?
I honestly gotta say, Joshua.
Joshua Graham.
The pure rise and fall of a character encapsulated in the trauma that he went through, and then going against everything that he was brought into. It's one of the better characters in the game, in my personal opinion.
Excellent arc, for sure.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you both very much for talking to me and taking the time. And once again, you guys, awesome. I'm very jealous of the skills it takes to make this because, honestly, I already had 2 bandoliers sitting together and I made him sew them together for me. So that's the extent of crafting I was willing to get into. Another great person that we ran into was Wave.
Well, I've been coming to this event since the first year, so I've been here 3 years in a row already, and it's not something I want to miss ever, hopefully, because I've met so many friends here, and I just really love them. I want to see them. I don't get to see them very often, considering we're all scattered across the states, so the only time of year we can actually get together and hang out and, nerd out, as they say.
Nerd out, as they say?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you've kind of made some friends for life almost out here.
Yeah, basically, yes. Or I so hope so.
All right. That's awesome. So what is your favorite Fallout game?
It is a mix between New Vegas and Fallout 4. Mainly Fallout 4 for the gameplay and New Vegas for the story. But yeah, because Fallout 4 was my absolute... It was there for me basically when I was down in the dumps, but... Because New Vegas I didn't play until after the first year of this event, and it took me about a year to really finish it off with all the DLC and whatnot, and after that it was just like, okay, yeah, everybody was right, it is a very good game, but Fallout 4 still has that special place in my heart.
I can respect that. I'm pretty much in the same vein, very much so. I did play New Vegas before 4, but it took me a while to appreciate New Vegas for what it is. And
absolutely, yes.
It does have the best story. All right, so last question. Who is your favorite character in all of Fallout?
Oh, that is easy. It is Paladin Dance.
Paladin Dance? All right, that's awesome. Thank you so much. The first fellow we talked to had a great role play, and the dude even gave me a 3D printed Vault 11 gambling chip, which, first of all, the pattern on this had to be an absolute B to square away, and second, he really cleaned it up well. The amount of work that he put in on this was amazing, and he's given me some great ideas if I'm able to make it next year. There was even this great couple who agreed to talk to us on a very special day for them. Unfortunately, I also suck at mobile journalisming because my mic was not recording, so you're just sort of stuck with what Gooblicon could catch with the camera at a distance.
So we're huge fans of Fallout New Vegas. We actually met through our love of the game. We come out here every year together, and this year we came with some friends and family, and we got engaged.
We did. That did happen. And right in front of the Goodsprings sign.
Yeah. So
Very romantic.
The best place to be with everyone you love, celebrating what you love most.
Yeah, because New Vegas is not an actual place. It's right here. Inside us all. Somewhere between the lines.
I didn't think we'd get this spiritual in this video.
Well, dude, Fallout New Vegas runs deep.
Yeah.
Well, Fallout in general, but New Vegas is like a special place.
It does.
Because it brings everybody together.
I couldn't agree more. All right, so what is your favorite Fallout title? New Vegas.
New Vegas.
Obviously with the LAPD riot gear.
Yeah.
All right, and who is your favorite Fallout character?
John Hancock. I'm cheating on Fallout New Vegas there, but he was just so good. He's my favorite.
You are not the first person whose favorite game is New Vegas, but favorite character is John Hancock.
He's just so good. He feels like he belonged in New Vegas, but for some reason he's in 4, so...
They screwed up.
He
got delayed. He missed the wrong flight.
He did, yeah. A couple hundred, yeah.
How about yours?
So I was thinking about it, and normally I would say Dogme, but with New Vegas, Rex, they're the goodest boy. And honestly, having a dog in the wasteland is just so Fallout. And I mean, that does encompass dog meat as well, but just definitely having a dog in the wasteland, I feel like that's the most realistic thing, and I just love dogs. So definitely having Rex by my side, like a cyber robo dog, is just amazing. So that's what I'd have to do.
All right. So a question that I don't normally ask, but since you guys got engaged here, we just learned a little bit ago they're actually doing a wedding at this event.
Yeah.
Do you think you would come back next year for a wedding?
I don't know if we would get married here, but I think we'd throw a heck of a reception.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe like a big party with our
Have like a
friends
party
at
within the
event.
party at the event?
Yeah, I think
sure.
we'll definitely do some kind of a Fallout wedding, but probably for us, just a little bit more private for the ceremony part.
Yeah, and our friend Paul and Selena, shout out you guys. They actually got married here on the bomb day, like actual October 23rd. So
that is amazing.
Yeah,
They did,
They had this cool ceremony like at the actual saloon. It was fantastic. We're from Colorado, so it was really hard to try to make it to that. But it was a beautiful ceremony. They had Fallout themed stuff out the wazoo. They had little mentat staff for people and like a Cazador tequila thing. It was really cool.
That is so neat.
But even with the absolute pleasure of getting to meet and talk with all these wonderful people, there's so much more to New Vegas days than what can be found in Goodsprings. Because we were pretty averse to standing in the line for food at festival prices, my faithful companion and I, that's right, Max Affinity, we decided to sneak away in the afternoons to make a New Vegas pilgrimage and help out some other local businesses that can use the patronage. We went to Spring Mountain Ranch State Park, nipped in Cottonwood Cove via Searchlight, even found a few solar collection towers, although these were south of Prim. The real-life solar plant roughly found in the Helios 1 area does not have a tower. Lame. All of these places that were recreated in the game faithfully, or at the very least taking strong inspiration from them, are interesting and are all suffering from a lack of tourism. COVID hit everyone hard, and the only organizations in and around Vegas that came out with enough of a nest egg to market and attract people back were the casinos. So mom and pops, state parks, even national recreation areas are pretty much getting screwed over because the casinos are monopolizing people's time and attention when they do visit. So do yourself and everyone else a favor. However, if you find yourself at the Fallout fan celebration and the lines are just a bit too long for your liking, sneak away for a bit. Spend some time in the fresh desert air. Visit Spring Mountain Ranch. Get your picture taken in front of the Bison Steve, aka the Buffalo Bill and Prim. Check out the airstrip at Gene. Visit some wonderful mom and pop restaurants or local chain restaurants. Many are within an hour's drive of Goodsprings. We decided to spend an extra day in the area to explore Hoover Dam and Bitter Springs, which, by the way, don't trust Google Maps when it says the road to Bitter Springs is a road. I tried to take the trip back in June in a Nissan Altima. Do not recommend. I made it a point this time around to rent a picker-up. By November, the springs are mostly dried up, but in June, they're still flowing heavily enough that the road becomes a stream bed. And here's where I'm gonna climb back up on my soapbox for a minute. Please treat these places with the respect that they are due. It is insane how many places there are signs that say stay on established roads that are immediately followed by shredded 4x4 paths leading off into the desert. All ecosystems are fragile, and the Mojave Desert is certainly no exception, and the more jackassery that happens means there's less to be enjoyed by others and future generations. There's a great little area above Lake Mead where there's just a massive amount of water pouring out from under a rock in the middle of the desert, and the pool of water that collects from it is now filled with invasive species of tropical fish that some morons dumped from their aquariums. This water flows directly into Lake Mead and by extension leads all the way to the Pacific Ocean, so there is now an invasive fish infestation that extends for hundreds of miles, all because someone wanted to see cichlids and goldfish in a random desert waterhole. Please, think before you do stupid stuff, and then don't do it. Okay, soapbox speech over. The Hoover Dam was great. Our tour guide shared a lot of really fascinating information, and we even ran into some folks we recognized from Goodsprings. We struck up a conversation with Dylan, who has the distinction of being my first subscriber I've met in person. We talked with Dylan, who drove all the way from Alberta, Canada for almost 2.5 hours standing on top of Hoover Dam. Okay, it was mostly Gooblicon talking. That dude is a chatty Cathy. Okay, I got a few words in here and there. Mostly there. Before the event concluded, I had to take a trek up to the top of Cemetery Hill. It doesn't actually have a cemetery or a water tower, and it's technically on the wrong end of town, but I was lucky enough to be the only one around, which allowed me to get some great footage looking out over all of Goodsprings, as well as the Scorpion Canyon, which in our own world served as the parking lot and impromptu campground where people were then shuttled to the event. Since my idiot cameraman still thinks he's 14 and pulled a Procter Ingram, we got to use the handicap shuttle and parking areas, which probably cut down on our wait times quite a bit. But hey, at least he met a friend. All in all, I'm immensely satisfied with my experience. I got the opportunity to meet people from all over the country and beyond whom, let's face it, I would have almost definitely never met if I had remained in my little cave here in insert undisclosed location here. I didn't immediately fall deathly ill with COVID like I did when I was sent to the Strip for work back in June, he says, hopefully, and got the chance to experience something that I've never done before and was wholly uncertain if I would ever attend again until I had the chance to experience it all with the people who are even more passionate about Fallout than I am. Now, I wish I could say this video was brought to you by my patrons over at Patreon, but I had already pre-booked all my travel arrangements long before I decided to resurrect my Patreon last month. Still, these people keep the guitar strings strumming and the baritone humming. The impact their direct contributions make to the continued operation of Great Gaming cannot be understated. Welcome to Bob the Robot, who recently enlisted as a Grunt tier patron. Special salute to my Officer tier patron, Carver050, and continued thanks to all my non-coms who keep the grunts on point. All Patreon funds are reserved for investment directly back into Grey Gaming's production costs, but if you can't swing a monthly Patreon membership, there are other ways to help the channel that don't cost a penny. If you enjoyed the video, a like would go a long way to help the channel, as viewer engagement is the primary metric I use to determine the sort of content that provides the most value to you, a random person on the internet who has the power to choose if I can afford to splurge on a few nice Brahmin steaks or if I'm stuck eating noodle cups this month. Until my next salute, stand at ease. Thank you so much for watching to the end, stay safe, and I hope to see you here next time on Grey Gaming. You're currently the only Nightkin I've seen here today.
Lily's coming later.
It's your responsibility to give me your best Rhonda and hello, dearie.
Rhonda. Like that?
Yes,
And then,
very good.
Hello, dearie.
That's awesome. All right.
Here, I've got you a NCR coin with my tag on the back.
Oh, very, very nice.
That'll help you pay your taxes.
Oh.
Show it to the next tax collector and you'll get 25% off your next bill.
I'm just gonna trade this for gambling chips.
Of course there is. You're her. And you're still as perfect as the day we met. It's just about time to get you some news. Rumors just about a super mutant refuge.
Are you as good about checking a 1911 to see whether it's loaded as he is or not?
Yeah. You want to look? I have one right back.
All right.
Here to check.
All right, do the one finger press check. You got to do the press check. Oh man. See?
Sadly, I don't have the clip with this one.
So close, so close. I would have thought you were the same guy. So, tell me, what brings you to Goodsprings today? Oh, damn it.
You're good. You're good. Yeah, we take 2 times. We want to make sure that the take isn't perfect. Again, low budget production.
Dude, I want to be sued by MGM Hotels and Resorts, okay?